We begin tonight with Congress responding to the collapse of crypto exchange FTX. The House Financial Services Committee held a hearing today on the issue, but without their star witness. The firm's founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, was supposed to testify, but was arrested in the Bahamas yesterday. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has charged him with a number of financial crimes, including conspiracy to commit fraud. For more on this, we bring in Scott MacFarlane and Steven Portnoy. Scott is a CBS News congressional correspondent, and Steven is a CBS News Radio White House correspondent. Hello to you both, and thanks for joining us today. Scott, I want to start with you because that hearing today was supposed to be a lot more fiery, I think, for lawmakers. But of course, Sam Bankman-Fried was not there. We did hear, however, from the current CEO who took over for him. I want to hear from him a clip, what he had to say about what happened with FTX.
This is really old-fashioned embezzlement. This is just taking money from customers and using it for your own purpose. Not sophisticated at all. Sophisticated perhaps in the way they were able to sort of hide it from people, frankly, right in front of their eyes. But this isn't sophisticated whatsoever. This is just plain old embezzlement.
Old school.
Old school.
Old school, Scott, but it is in a new space that I imagine lawmakers had a lot of questions about with regard to crypto and regulating it. So without Bankman-Fried there, what questions were they able to have answered?
It was a huge missing link to this hearing. That really was going to be the focal point, asking Bankman-Fried not only what happened, what triggered the collapse of this giant in the cryptocurrency world, but what should Congress do to prevent another colossal collapse that costs investors billions of dollars? So missing that piece, the CEO who is trying to salvage FTX from bankruptcy, John Ray, appears and really leans into that argument you just heard, that this wasn't some elaborate next level, next generation operation. This was, according to the new CEO, it's rather baseline fraud, a scheme, embezzlement at its most fundamental level, the likes of which we've seen different incarnations of through generations as the economy has evolved. So though both Democrats and Republicans left this hearing saying we may have to revisit new legislation or changes to regs and rules overseeing this industry, they didn't walk away with a clear sense as to what to change immediately, which means this goes on likely into the next Congress and perhaps well into the next Congress.
Right, and I'm sure that's not what consumers want to hear, who want to know now what guardrails may be in place. I want to turn to something else lawmakers are scrambling to figure out, that is, of course, whether to keep the government funded and how to do that. I want to play some sound we got earlier from a few lawmakers and chat with you on the other side.
We're long overdue. This fiscal year began October 1st. Let's get this job done this year and do it before Christmas.
I certainly don't support an omnibus. I mean, listen, we just elected, I say we, the voters, just elected a Republican House. Why not let them weigh in on this?
I'm not going to vote for an omnibus bill full of spending porn that they throw at us.
That's one way to put it, Scott. So I have to ask you, what we always seem to be asking congressional correspondents this time of year is whether you will be working or not at the end of the month, because you're going to be talking about a shutdown or not.
Yeah, we do. These standoffs are as much a holiday tradition now as eggnog and the elf on the shelf, which scares my youngest child. Here's the thing. The deadline is Friday for some type of deal to either fund the government or to delay the deadline into next week. They've already set into motion the process to delay the deadline into next week and hug it up real close to Christmas itself. We spoke with Senate Republican leaders today. We spent the afternoon chasing them in the hallways. The sense we got from them is they will not give anything more than a 2-month spending deal if they go past December 22nd with the negotiations. They're drawing their line in the sand, and they're saying if no deal is cut by the 22nd, they'll only approve a very, very short-term deal, or they will blame Democrats for shutting down the government. So this is brinksmanship by design. Both sides using the leverage of a deadline, if not December 16th, then the holiday itself, to try to exact concessions and get people to vote for something they wouldn't vote for otherwise. There's nobody walking around here with an expectation of a government shutdown, but there are many, many people walking around here with fatigue of this happening, this brinksmanship happening each and every Christmas.
And Stephen, just down the street, a lot of people are walking around the White House trying to get this done as well. They've made clear their priorities during the session are, keeping the government open. Can you talk to us about what President Biden, what his team is doing to try to avoid a shutdown?
Well, frankly, they're allowing this process to take place up on Capitol Hill. Aides here indicate that they are optimistic, that they're hopeful that Congress can at least avoid a shutdown at the end of the week and perhaps work out a broader deal that might avoid something more painful in the immediate term. But aides here don't want to get too specific, and that's been the pattern that we've seen for nearly 2 years here. Allow the negotiators to do their work up on Capitol Hill. The administration's made its priorities clear, and now it's really up to the appropriators and the negotiators to get it done.
Well, one thing they have no trouble talking about today and celebrating is the Respect for Marriage Act, which President Biden signed into law just a short time ago. Let's watch as he did that.
Love is love. Right is right. Justice is justice. These things are fundamental things that America thinks matter.
There were thousands of people there, Stephen, you included, but one person who wasn't there is Jim Obergefell. He, of course, is the namesake in the Supreme Court case that legalized gay marriage. I spoke to him earlier today, and he said he's out of the country. He also said that he did not feel like this was a day where people should be jumping up and down and celebrating. So tell us why, and tell us what this piece of legislation does and does not do.
So the Respect for Marriage Act does essentially three things. It repeals the Defense of Marriage Act, which Bill Clinton signed in 1996. That was the federal law that the Supreme Court struck down over the last decade that not only banned federal recognition of gay marriage, but said to the states that they didn't have to recognize a valid marriage performed out of state if their own state law had it as invalid. So the first thing that this does is it repeals the DOMA law, takes it off the books. The second thing it does is it essentially postulates or sets a framework for the striking down of the Obergefell decision of 2015. And it's meant to gird the rights of married same-sex couples if that were to happen. It also says to the states, it's sort of the inverse of the Defense of Marriage Act, that if the Obergefell decision were to be struck down and you are in a same-sex marriage and you have a valid marriage license from a state where it is legal and remains legal, you can then travel to a state where gay marriage would then be illegal. And that state would be required to give full faith and credit to recognize your valid same-sex marriage. It doesn't go as far as some supporters of same-sex marriage rights believe it should go. But there are two reasons. One is it had to be the product of bipartisan compromise, and this was. And the other reason is that in the law, marriage is a state construct, and backers say that Congress can't create a federal marriage right under federal law. What this law is meant to do is protect the rights of same-sex couples in the event, which court watchers say is unlikely, that the Obergefell decision is struck down. But there's one other point to make, and this is what I think Jim Obergefell was talking about when he spoke with you earlier today, Weija, and that is that there are protections in this bill for religious organizations. It essentially affirms their right to deny services, accommodations, to support gay weddings. And for that reason, Obergefell says that this should not be called the Respect for Marriage Act, and it's why he says he's not celebrating today.
Stephen, I know you tried to press the White House press secretary about that early today, but she focused on what the bill did do instead of what it did not do. Thank you very much. Along with Scott MacFarlane, appreciate your time.